6 days after Venezuela's twin earthquakes, rescue teams pulled a 3-year-old boy out of the rubble alive. His name is Kleiber Moran. He was found inside the collapsed remains of the Los Corrales Garden 1 building in La Guaira state, the same coastal zone that has been the epicenter of the country's worst destruction since Wednesday night. The operation took 3 hours. According to officials, Kleiber is the only survivor found on the 6th day of rescue operations. He received first aid at the scene and was taken to a hospital for treatment. By the time his rescue was announced, the official death toll had already climbed to 1,943 people dead and more than 10,571 injured. Those two numbers, one 3-year-old boy found alive and a death count closing in on $2,000, are what Venezuela's 7th day looks like right now. Start with the numbers as they stand Tuesday. National Assembly President Jorge Rodriguez confirmed the latest figures in his daily briefing. 1,943 confirmed dead, 10,571 injured, and rescue operations still active across multiple collapse sites. That injured figure, crossing 10,500 for the first time, represents a dramatic jump from the 5,034 reported just 48 hours earlier, reflecting both the ongoing discovery of casualties in hard-to-reach areas and the growing strain on Venezuela's hospital system as more patients are formally processed. Every number in this disaster has moved in the same direction every single day for 7 days. There is no sign that trend is slowing. Kleiber's rescue is the detail that cut through all of those numbers on Tuesday. The Jordanian search and rescue team that found him had been working collapse sites across La Guaira since arriving in the disaster zone days earlier. What made this find extraordinary wasn't just the timeline. 6 days is already far beyond what survival models consider standard. It's that the day itself had otherwise produced no live rescues at all. According to a spokesperson from the Venezuelan Public Security Directorate, Kleiber was described as 3 years old by acting President Delcy Rodriguez, though National Assembly President Jorge Rodriguez put his age at 2 Nasdaq, a small discrepancy that speaks to the broader documentation chaos still gripping the response. What isn't disputed is that the boy was breathing when they found him, received immediate first aid on site, and was transported alive to a medical facility. In a disaster of this scale, on day 6, that is not a small thing. Jorge Rodriguez said Kleiber's rescue renewed hope that more survivors might still be alive beneath the city's collapsed structures. That statement carries more weight than it might seem. By day 6, in most major earthquake disasters, search operations have typically shifted their focus away from live rescue and toward body recovery, a grim but statistically driven transition. The fact that Venezuelan and international officials are choosing to frame this rescue as a reason to keep searching rather than an isolated anomaly signals that the operation is not treating the window as fully closed. Israel dispatched a joint delegation from its foreign ministry, the IDF, and the Home Front Command on Tuesday, arriving specifically to support ongoing search efforts, not body recovery. They joined an already large international contingent that now includes teams from Jordan, Mexico, El Salvador, the United States, Colombia, Cuba, and dozens of other countries. Other rescues from the past 24 hours add texture to that picture. A mother named Diana Patino and her 18-day-old son, Juan David, were pulled from a collapsed apartment building after more than 30 hours trapped. Rescuers reached the infant by sliding a straw through a pipe in the rubble to get water to him while the extraction was still ongoing. "The one who gave me the strength not to fall into despair was my son," Patino said afterward. "I kept saying, as long as he was alive, I was going to be alive." A 13-year-old named Junker Surpassed was freed by a Mexican rescue brigade. And Aaron Levi Cantillo, the man rescued after 106 hours and a 43-hour extraction operation earlier in the week, remains one of the most widely reported survival cases of the entire disaster. Each of these rescues has come from a different team, a different building, a different corner of the disaster zone, which means the operation isn't finding survivors in one concentrated area. They're scattered across a collapse zone that now spans multiple municipalities in La Guaira, Caracas, and beyond. The international response behind these rescues has grown into one of the largest coordinated relief operations in the Western Hemisphere in recent memory. More than 2,600 rescue workers and 137 search dogs are currently deployed across Venezuela from countries around the world. The U.S. Air Force Contingency Response Element has been working to restore Simón Bolívar International Airport to full operational capacity, clearing the bottleneck that slowed incoming aid flights in the disaster's first days. Military air support is now being used to reach collapse sites that remain inaccessible by road. A detail Fairfax County, Virginia urban search and rescue captain Mike Eddy flagged to reporters as essential for getting personnel into areas still completely cut off 1 week after the initial quakes. Behind the rescue headlines, there are other developments that officials have been slower to address. Reports of looting in the earthquake zone have been circulating since at least the third day of the disaster, with Reuters and Venezuelan outlets documenting theft from collapsed buildings, including one incident where civilians blocked government officers reportedly trying to remove a box of dollars from a destroyed structure in La Guaira. The government's response has been to militarize access to La Guaira entirely, restricting entry to those with QR codes, a measure designed to control the flow of people into the zone, but which has also drawn criticism for slowing the arrival of independent volunteers and aid workers not affiliated with official government channels. The missing persons numbers remain the most contested figures of the entire disaster. The independent tracking site, Desaparecidos Terremoto Venezuela, created by volunteers in the earthquake's aftermath, has recorded tens of thousands of names, though officials and independent monitors alike caution that the figure includes duplicates, outdated entries, and people who have since been found safe. Spain's government has confirmed 18 of its citizens dead, with more still unaccounted for. Argentina has confirmed 6 Argentine deaths, with 3 more missing. The United States has confirmed 3 American fatalities and 12 Americans still listed as missing. Victims from Brazil, China, Italy, and Portugal have also been officially confirmed, reflecting the dense international makeup of the neighborhoods hit hardest along Venezuela's northern coast. The financial scale of what Venezuela now faces is also becoming clearer. The Venezuelan government has announced an initial $200 million reconstruction fund, drawing from International Monetary Fund resources, earmarked specifically for damaged hospitals and housing. Public and private banks have been directed to extend special credit lines to residents and business owners who lost their primary source of income because of the earthquakes. But independent economic assessments put the true reconstruction cost far higher. The UN's damage estimate of between $4.7 and $8.7 billion is considered a floor, not a ceiling, and some projections place the real figure as high as $26 billion when indirect losses, infrastructure repair, and long-term displacement costs are factored in. For a country that was already in economic crisis before a single wall came down, those numbers represent a rebuilding timeline measured not in months, but in years, possibly decades. 7 days in, Venezuela is a country still pulling children from rubble. The death toll at 1,943 is the highest it has ever been, and by every pattern this disaster has followed since day one, Tuesday's number will not be the final one either. But Kleiber Moran is alive, and his rescue on the 6th day by a team that flew from Jordan to dig through the ruins of a building on a coast they'd never visited before is the single detail that rescue coordinators pointed to on Tuesday as the reason they are not stopping. Subscribe to stay updated as this story continues to develop, because 7 days in, it still is.